Hey everybody, Mike Rowe here, and let's face it, trucking ain't for the faint of heart. You log miles in conditions that would make most folks stay home and knit. Rain, sleet, snow, you've seen it all. But there's one season that demands an extra level of respect: winter. Visibility drops, roads ice over, and suddenly that rig feels a whole lot bigger. We're talking about your safety, the safety of others on the road, and the cargo you're hauling. We're gonna go over the essential tips and tricks to make sure you're in command when Old Man Winter comes knocking. We'll cover everything from pre-trip checks to handling emergencies like a seasoned pro. Now I know what you might be thinking, Mike. I've been driving for years. I can handle a little snow, and maybe you can. But here's the thing. Even the best drivers can fall victim to winter's wrath. Just one patch of black ice, one moment of lost concentration, and things can go south real fast. These aren't just statistics, folks. They're real lives, real families impacted by something that might have been preventable. The good news is, most winter driving accidents are avoidable. By taking the right precautions and staying sharp behind the wheel, you dramatically increase your chances of making it home safe and sound. This video is your toolkit for winter driving success. We're gonna break down the essentials in a way that's easy to understand and even easier to remember. The more you know, the better prepared you are to react quickly and decisively when conditions change. We'll equip you with the skills to anticipate hazards, make smart decisions, and stay in control, no matter what Mother Nature throws your way. This information could be the difference between a safe journey and a disaster. Let's do this. Alright, let's talk tires. These are your first line of defense against slippery roads, so they better be up to snuff. We're not talking about a quick glance over here, folks. First off, tread depth. Use a gauge. Make sure you've got at least 4/32 of an inch. Anything less and you're asking for trouble. Cold weather makes your tire pressure drop, so check it before every trip and adjust as needed. Don't forget the spare. A flat tire in the middle of nowhere is a bad day at the office, especially in winter. Finally, take a good look at the overall condition of your tires. Any cuts, cracks, or bulges? Get those checked out by a professional. Don't take any chances with those tires. Alright, tires are checked. Now let's move on to another critical system, your brakes. When the roads are slick, you need to know you can stop on a dime or at least a reasonable distance. Start by checking your brake pads or shoes. Are they worn down? Get them replaced. Next, check your airlines. Are they in good shape and free of chafing or damage? Make sure your windshield washer fluid is topped off with a winter formula that won't freeze. And check your coolant too. You don't want your engine freezing up on you in the middle of nowhere. You know what they say, if you can't see, you shouldn't be driving. And that's especially true in winter. So, let's make sure your lights are in tip-top shape. First, check your headlights. Are they clean and clear? Are all the bulbs working? Make sure you're using the right lights for the conditions. Don't forget about your tail lights, brake lights, and turn signals. Finally, check your windshield wipers. Good visibility is key to safe driving, so don't neglect this crucial step. Alright folks, you've done your pre-trip inspection, you're confident your rig is ready to roll. But now comes the real test. Driving in winter conditions. First things first, slow down. I know you've got deadlines to meet, but trust me, arriving late is better than not arriving at all. When the roads are slick, your stopping distance increases dramatically. That means you need to give yourself extra space to react to hazards. Remember, speed limits are for ideal conditions. In winter, it's always best to err on the side of caution and reduce your speed accordingly. Speaking of space, let's talk following distance. You know the 2-second rule? Well, in winter, double it. And for Pete's sake, lay off the cruise control. This ain't the time to be letting your truck do the thinking. You need to be in complete control at all times. Now let's talk about one of winter's sneakiest tricks, black ice. This stuff is dangerous because it's often invisible to the naked eye. You might think the road is just wet, but in reality, it's covered in a thin, transparent layer of ice. Black ice typically forms in shaded areas, on bridges and overpasses, and when the temperature is near freezing. If you hit a patch of black ice, the most important thing is to stay calm. Don't slam on the brakes or make any sudden movements. Instead, take your foot off the gas and steer gently in the direction you want to go. Slow down, increase your following distance, and be extra cautious in areas where black ice is likely to form. Alright, let's say the worst happens and you find yourself in a skid. The first thing to remember is, don't panic. Easier said than done, right? But keeping your cool is essential for regaining control of your rig. The natural instinct is to slam on the brakes, but that's the last thing you want to do in a skid. Instead, take your foot off the gas and steer gently in the direction you want the front of your truck to go. This is called steering into the skid. It might feel counterintuitive, but trust me, it works. As you steer into the skid, you're essentially realigning your tires with the direction of the skid. This helps you regain traction and pull yourself out of the spin. Finally, let's talk about a challenge that takes on a whole new level of difficulty in winter mountain driving. When you're dealing with steep grades, sharp curves, and limited visibility, it's crucial to be extra cautious. Before you even start your descent, make sure you're in the right gear. You'll want to be in a lower gear to utilize engine braking and avoid overheating your brakes. When approaching curves, slow down well in advance and maintain a consistent speed throughout the turn. Avoid braking hard or accelerating suddenly, as this can cause you to lose traction, and always be aware of your surroundings. Watch out for other vehicles, especially those coming uphill, and be prepared for unexpected hazards like falling rocks or icy patches. Gear up your winter survival kit. Stranded and shivering, what to do? Alright, let's face it, even the best drivers can run into trouble on the road, especially during the harsh winter months. And in winter, those troubles can escalate quickly, turning a minor inconvenience into a dangerous situation. That's why it's crucial to be prepared for anything. First things first, warmth. Staying warm is not just about comfort, it's about survival. You need to be able to stay warm if you're stranded for any length of time. Hypothermia can set in quickly in freezing temperatures. Pack extra layers of clothing, including hats, gloves, and thick socks. These items can make a significant difference in keeping your body heat. Hand and foot warmers are lifesavers, literally. They can provide that extra bit of warmth when you need it most. Throw in a couple of emergency blankets too, the kind that reflect your body heat back to you. These are compact and can be a real game changer. Next up, food and water. You never know how long you might be stuck. Pack high-energy snacks like nuts, granola bars, and jerky. These can keep your energy levels up when you need it. And remember, water is essential, even in cold weather. Dehydration can sneak up on you. Keep a couple of gallons in your truck at all times. It's better to have more than you think you'll need. A flashlight with extra batteries is a must-have. It can help you see and be seen in the dark. A whistle can help signal for help if your phone dies. It's a simple tool, but very effective. And don't forget a first aid kit. It's essential for treating minor injuries and can be a lifesaver in more serious situations. Accidents happen, and it's best to be prepared. A well-stocked first aid kit can make all the difference. Okay, so you're prepared with your winter survival kit, but what happens if you actually find yourself stranded? First rule, stay with your truck. It's your best shelter and makes you easier to spot by rescuers. If you can, run your engine for short periods to stay warm, but make sure your exhaust pipe is clear of snow to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning. Crack a window for ventilation just a little bit. Clear snow away from your truck to make it more visible from the air. Communication is key. Keep your phone charged and call for help as soon as possible. Let someone know your route and expected arrival time before you head out. And if you have to leave your truck for any reason, leave a note indicating your direction of travel. You know, in this day and age, there's no excuse for being caught off guard by bad weather. There are tons of resources available to help you stay informed and make smart decisions. First off, check the forecast before you hit the road. Look at detailed forecasts specifically for truckers. These forecasts often include information about road conditions, wind speeds, and potential hazards like black ice. While you're driving, keep an ear on the radio for weather updates and traffic reports. CB radios are still a valuable tool for truckers, especially in remote areas. You can get real-time information from other drivers about road conditions ahead. Download a few reliable weather apps to your phone. These apps can give you a heads up about changing conditions, road closures, or accidents ahead. Alright, we've talked about a lot of practical stuff, but now let's shift gears and talk about the rules and regulations, specifically the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, or FMCSA. I know, sometimes it feels like those folks are just out to make your life difficult with all the paperwork and regulations. But here's the thing, the FMCSA is actually your partner in safety. Their job is to make sure trucks, drivers, and cargo get where they need to be safely. And that means setting standards and enforcing rules, especially when it comes to winter driving. So, what does the FMCSA have to say about winter driving? Well, a lot actually. One of the most important FMCSA regulations for winter driving involves tire chains. Chains provide extra traction when roads are covered in snow or ice. And trust me, when the FMCSA says you need chains, you better have them on. We're talking hefty fines and even out-of-service orders if you're caught without them. Now, chain requirements vary depending on the state and the severity of the weather. Some states have designated chain-up areas where you're required by law to install chains if conditions warrant it. Before you head out on your route, check for any chain control advisories or restrictions in the areas you'll be traveling through. Have your chains on hand and know how to install them properly before you need them. Alright, let's talk about something that's always top of mind for truckers' hours of service. These regulations are designed to keep you safe and ensure that you get the rest you need to stay alert on the road. We all know the rules, but in winter it's even more important to stick to them, and maybe even build in a little extra cushion. The unpredictable nature of winter weather can throw a wrench into even the best-laid plans. Why? Because winter driving is more demanding, both physically and mentally. The cold can sap your energy, and the constant vigilance required can be exhausting. You're dealing with reduced visibility, slippery roads, and increased traffic congestion. These conditions require you to be at your best, fully alert and ready to react. All of these factors can lead to fatigue, which can impair your judgment and reaction time. Fatigue is a serious issue that can sneak up on you, especially during long hauls. The FMCSA understands this, and they've actually got some flexibility built into the hours of service rules for adverse driving conditions. This flexibility is there to help you manage your time more effectively. For example, you may be able to extend your driving time by up to 2 hours if you encounter unexpected weather conditions that significantly slow your progress. This can be a lifesaver when you're caught in a sudden snowstorm. However, don't use this as an excuse to push yourself to the limit. It's crucial to listen to your body and know when it's time to take a break. Your safety and the safety of others on the road is more important than making up time. Remember, no delivery is worth risking your life or the lives of others. If you're feeling tired, pull over and take a break. A short rest can make a big difference in your alertness and overall safety. It's better to arrive late than not at all. Always prioritize safety over speed, especially in challenging winter conditions. We've covered a lot of ground here today, folks. From the basics to the more advanced techniques, we've delved into the essentials of winter driving. From pre-trip inspections to handling skids on black ice, every step is crucial. And let's not forget the importance of respecting those FMCSA regulations, because it all boils down to one thing: taking winter driving seriously. This ain't about being a cowboy and toughing it out, it's about being smart and prepared. It's about understanding the risks and taking responsibility for your actions behind the wheel. Every decision you make matters. Remember that scenic winter wonderland you're driving through? It's beautiful, but it can be treacherous. It can turn dangerous in a heartbeat. Conditions can change rapidly. And it's not just about you, it's about everyone else on the road too. Every time you climb into that cab, you're taking on a huge responsibility. You're sharing the road with families heading home, loved ones eager to reunite, folks just trying to get to work, and people going about their daily lives. Other truckers putting in the miles just like you. We're all in this together. Your decisions impact everyone around you. One wrong move, one lapse in judgment, and the consequences can be severe, and the consequences can be devastating. Lives can be changed in an instant. We've all seen the news reports, heard the stories, accidents that could have been prevented, lives changed forever. So, let's make sure we're doing everything we can to drive safely and responsibly this winter. But here's the good news, you're not powerless. Every tip we've talked about, every technique, every regulation, it's a tool in your belt. By taking the time to learn and apply this knowledge, you're stacking the odds in your favor. Think about it. When you climb into that rig, you're a professional. You wouldn't show up to a construction site without your hard hat, right? You wouldn't tackle a plumbing job without your wrench. Well, consider this your winter driving toolkit. Respect the conditions, know your limits, and never stop learning. The more you know, the better prepared you are to handle whatever winter throws your way. And that, my friends, is what being a true professional is all about. At the end of the day, it's not about the miles logged or the deadlines met, it's about getting home safe to the people who matter most. Your family, your friends, they're waiting for you. They're counting on you to make smart choices out there on the road. So next time you're facing down a blizzard or navigating a treacherous mountain pass, remember what's truly important. Slow down, stay alert, and never hesitate to pull over if conditions get too rough. Remember, the road will always be there tomorrow, but you, my friend, you're irreplaceable. Drive safe, get home safe. Your family is counting on you.